Coming up on this edition of Mustang News, we take a look at a 16-hour day of giving for local nonprofits where $1.2 million was raised.
After that, we take a look at the film Hunt for the WILDERPEOPLE, another film available free to students on campus.
And we hear from Mike Strickland, who runs the Unified Sports League here in Wichita Falls. All this and more coming up.
Hello and welcome to Mustang News. I'm Ara Washburn.
And I'm Jessica Wollenberger. Every year in September, the city of Wichita Falls comes together for a day of giving back to local charities. Reporter Trey Jones has more on this special day.
Around this time of year, Texoma has an area-wide event known as Texoma Gives. This event was held on Thursday, September 13th, all across the town. It provides a chance for local nonprofit organizations to get income from the generous donors of Wichita Falls. The day began with a flag-raising ceremony at the Base Camp Lindsay property. At the ceremony, there was the raising of the flag, a prayer was said along with the Pledge of Allegiance, and followed by the singing of the national anthem. Throughout the morning, local places like Wichita Falls Faith Mission and Whispers of Hope Horse Farm held their own donation spots at their respective locations throughout the day. Frank and Joe's had a donation spot set up for a nonprofit organization where there was a dunking booth for those who wanted to provide income to the charity that they were sponsoring. Executive Director of Child Advocates CASA of Red River, Laura Grimsinger, says Texoma Gives is a special day not only for the nonprofits that are receiving the donations, but for the community as a whole.
Well, you know, it's so exciting to be a part of this community. And Texoma Gives is just, you know, a beautiful compilation of how our community joins together in support of all of the many worthwhile organizations.
One of the bigger events that was held during Texoma Gives was the superhero training course held at the Family YMCA. This course was full of different obstacles where policemen, firefighters, and even some amazing cancer survivors ran through in order to show their own superpowers. Gymnastics director at the YMCA, Joe Cronin, says he thinks this day is amazing for the area because it's a chance for around 180 different nonprofit organizations to get the donations they deserve.
I think it's nice for the community to get involved and you know, donate to the particular cause that they might have a keen interest in.
Texoma Gives was once again a huge success by raising $1.2 million. From Mustang News, I'm Trey Jones.
It's truly amazing what one community can do for a great cause.
Are you an animal lover? PetSmart showed their love by hosting a pet adoption event for local shelters last week. Reporter Jeremy Stacy has more on the story.
Animal shelters gathered at PetSmart for National Adoption Weekend. PetSmart hosts several adoption events like this each year to help local shelters lower the homeless animal population. Rusty Maley from Clay County Animal Shelter says the problem is overwhelming.
Come spring, we call it puppy and kitten season. We are flooded with mamas that are either with the litter or pregnant.
Maley has found litters of kittens in boxes on the side of the road and even in trash cans. PetSmart dog trainer Rachel McDaniel says homeless animal numbers are very high in Texas for a few reasons. She says animal breeding laws are in place but not enforced. She says the number one reason people get rid of dogs is behavior issues.
Unfortunately, people see them as disposable and they just will let them go and they're a dime a dozen and they don't get homes very quickly.
McDaniel says according to research, the litter of one female dog can produce 5,000 dogs in their lifetime. So how do they respond to the growing number of homeless animals? Maley and McDaniel agree that spaying and neutering is the best solution. Maley says when looking for a pet to adopt, not shop. McDaniel adds that a number of dogs that are adopted have become service and therapy dogs. Her adopted service dog can detect when her glucose or oxygen levels are too high or low. She also says dogs with PTSD can be therapeutic for soldiers who also suffer from PTSD.
The thought is, this dog has gone through so much and it needs so much help. You're helping that dog while you're helping yourself, and you're so busy helping them you don't even notice you're helping yourself.
As puppy and kitten season approaches, PetSmart has more adoption events planned, including one at the MPEC on October 20th. They will be collecting donations and connecting people to local shelters to find the pet that is perfect for them. For Mustang News, I'm Jeremy Stacy.
If you are interested in adopting an animal, head on over to PetSmart off Lawrence Road and they can help you get connected with a local organization to find your perfect match.
In other local news, there's a new yogurt spot here in town called Menchies. Reporter Haley Aldridge has more on this sweet surprise.
Menchies Frozen Yogurt is a new yogurt spot in Wichita Falls, Texas. They opened up in the summer of 2018 and gave away free yogurt to the community all day till they closed. Payton Collier, shift leader, says Menchies will be more successful than Yogurt Journey because they are more involved with the community.
Than a yogurt journey, just because of the fact that we're more social, more intact with our with our community. Like we already got like a lot of people from different high schools,
Menchies is a self-serve chain that is passionate about froyo and making the customers happy. Customers can come in and combine the flavors that they like. Tim Torres, senior chemistry and biology major, says they can introduce new ways of business to bring in more customers.
For the area that they're located in, I think that they can do a lot to generate new business with the advertising that they have. Their location being so close to MSU, I think that they could attract a lot of college students if they put the advertising out for it.
To find out more information, go to menchies.com to see their flavors, locations, careers. Reporting for Mustang News, I'm Haley Aldridge.
If frozen yogurt is on your mind, check out www.menchies.com. After the break, we will hear about a new series that the Counseling Center is putting on.
Each path to success is a journey.
At MSU Texas, you can set yourself up for success while learning on your own terms. Faculty mentors, research opportunities, real-world experiences, and individual attention are just a few of the many advantages of an MSU Texas education.
Live, lead,
and learn in a vibrant, creative community.
Make connections that will last a lifetime and prepare for the careers of tomorrow, today.
Take the first step of your journey with MSU Texas.
Welcome back, Mustangs. Now let's take a look at what's going on in our College of Science, Math, and Engineering.
Final college to arrive on MSU Texas's campus is known as the McCoy Engineering Hall. Although the majority of the College of Science, Mathematics, and Engineering is housed in Bolin Science Hall, the college has officially received its name thanks to the 31 years of contributions of James and Vicki McCoy. Dr. Margaret Brown Marsden says the McCoys really want to impact the lives of students. Every donation they've made to MSU has been strongly student-focused.
Being the McCoy College of Science, Math, and Engineering allows us to sort of expand our name, attach the name of a very prominent donor who's been very supportive of our college, and then to encompass all the different things that we do in the college. We're just split into two buildings. It's sort of the way we can think about it is just it takes two buildings to hold all the things that we offer.
Every donation they've made to MSU has been strongly student-focused. Mechanical engineering senior Rojitha Gunisakari says engineering has given him amazing opportunities.
Engineering has really given me an amazing opportunity to go deep into some incredible projects, especially my senior design. And none of those would have been possible without the amazing faculty that we have. Their expertise transcends all boundaries, and especially the funding that we get from Mr. and Mrs. McCoy really help us achieve these incredible goals and move on to the next stages of our life. And I would really like to thank all of them, even the student body, for helping us do that.
Because the College of Science, Mathematics, and Engineering is split into two separate buildings, Bolin and McCoy, plans for remodeling Bolin are in effect. Some of the renovations include an administrative and student services suite, a new entry lobby and student gathering space, a student computer lab, and an office suite for geosciences, as well as additional exterior and interior renovations and expansion priorities. These renovations are expected to be completed by the year 2020. Reporting for Mustangs News, I'm Ruth Mercado.
Now we head over to our own LaToya Fondren to hear about a new series the Counseling Center is putting on.
Yes, thank you, Ara. Consent is an important concept for students to understand, and with the help of faculty in the Counseling Center, the message of boundaries has become a platform for everyone. Here's more on the story.
The new Title IX coordinator in the Counseling Center has teamed together to establish a consent series to educate students on the importance of setting boundaries and reaching out for help if they need to. Rachel Fornoff, director and coordinator of Title IX, says the purpose of their consent series is to inform students on what boundaries are.
With Consent Day and then all of the other programs that are going to come afterwards is really to educate students on kind of the spectrum of things that can involve consent. Consent affects them every single day.
With the consent series making its way into full swing, students across campus are voicing their opinions on what they believe consent. Respiratory care freshman says she believes consent is the action of committing something with permission, and situations can occur in the halls, which is why she believes consent posters are very helpful.
Consent is basically, to me, it's a mutual agreement between two people to do any type of actions towards one another physically. I checked like the other restrooms because just to go in multiple restrooms, and they were all in it. And I thought it was like really cool to have that, especially in dorms where people stay and things like that could happen in dorms.
Laura Hetrick, assistant director of the Counseling Center, says they want everyone on campus to be knowledgeable about consent and know how to utilize it when they need to.
I feel it's important for students to know and understand consent. It's something they're going to be using in their everyday life, whether it involves sexual activity or everyday activity, and that we want everyone to be on the same page on this campus on what it means and what it looks like and how to use it.
Savannah Lopez, general business freshman, says she likes the t-shirts because they speak volume, and she supports the movement because it sends a message to everyone.
I thought the t-shirts were a really great idea because I still see people every day like wearing them, and it just also raises awareness that consent is mandatory. And it's just like you see it, you feel it, you hear it, like you need to report it, and it just gives people a way to like express themselves and to like show they support and they stand up for the people who have been victims of this.
For Mustang News, I'm Latoya Fondren.
With the long semester ahead for faculty and students, the Consent Series has a lot planned for campus and will continue to educate everyone on such an important matter. For more information on the Consent Series, you may contact the Title IX coordinator, Rachel Fornoff. And now here's our own Sam Mitchell with the latest Mustang movie review.
Thanks, Latoya. Hello, I'm Sam Mitchell, and welcome to Mustang's Movie Review, a series in which we review movies from Canopy. Canopy is a free streaming service provided to students with their tuition and fees. This week, we watched the movie The Hunt for WILDERPEOPLE, directed by Taika Waititi, the mind behind Thor Ragnarok. The film takes place in New Zealand and tells the story of a foster child who has only one more chance before being taken to juvenile prison. After the death of his foster mother, Child Protective Services threaten to take the child to prison, so he and his foster father go on the run in the jungle. Hunt for the WILDERPEOPLE benefits from a laundry list of great aspects. The movie is incredibly touching, giving a warm, funny light to many problems foster children go through. Waititi brings a lot of charm and wit to the screenplay, giving the audience many heartfelt moments. After the break, we will hear from Trey and what's going on in sports scene.
Welcome back, Mustangs. Now it's time to head over to Sports Scene,
where we will hear about the San Antonio Spurs assistant coach Becky Hammond, the men's football team takes on UT Permian Basin, and check in on the men's and women's soccer teams. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Sports Scene, I'm Trey Jones. Spurs assistant coach Becky Hammond came to the Artist Lecture Series at MSU, and we had a chance to talk to her about her career, experiences, and ambitions. Sports Scene reporter Sterling Ellison has more on the story.
From a 6-time WNBA All-Star to the first full-time female assistant coach in any of the Big Four sports, Becky Hammond has had nothing short of a spectacular career in basketball. Starting off as an undrafted free agent, Hammond first played for the New York Liberty, where she soon became a dominant figure in the WNBA. Hammond had an illustrious career over her 15 years in the WNBA, including being a 6-time All-Star and was on the All-WNBA first team 2 times. While she retired from the WNBA in 2014, her career was not even close to being over, as later in the same year, she would be hired as an assistant coach for the Spurs. In 2015, she served as a coach for the Spurs summer team and led them to a Summer League championship. Throughout her time as an assistant coach for the Spurs, Coach Hammond has gotten attention about becoming a head coach, and most recently had talks with Colorado State University to become the head coach of their men's basketball team. Coach Hammond explains her thought process and reasoning as to why she decided to stay an assistant coach with the Spurs.
And it was really just about, for me, just staying on the road and the journey that I'm on right now. I just would have felt taking either one of those jobs, I would have been getting off like a couple exits too soon than from my final destination. And so I want to continue to learn and grow. I'm in a great situation, obviously, with San Antonio.
While choosing to stay with the Spurs, Coach Hammond explains the qualities about the organization that made her want to stay in San Antonio.
Well, I think it's the type of culture that they cultivate, the leadership that they've had in place there with RC and Pop, and even Timmy. I mean, it's a very selfless style of leadership. It's a very making sure everybody's taken care of first. And so when you see that exemplified to you every day, I think you learn stuff from that.
With Coach Hammond recently being promoted on the Spurs and filling the position of James Borrego, who was just hired as a head coach, is a testament to the ever-growing Coach Popovich coaching tree. Coach Hammond explains why working with Coach Popovich is followed by success elsewhere.
The foundation that the Spurs have not only built but been able to maintain. And I think that's why you see prolonged excellence. That's why you see people wanting to hire people from the Spurs organization, is because they've been in the mix of that excellence.
Since coaches stemming from the Popovich tree are successful, Coach Hammond has a unique situation being the first-time women's coach in the Big Four sports. But as Coach Hammond explains, this is a trend that is just beginning.
And hopefully it keeps happening. I mean, one by one you see women getting hired, and it's just great. And that's the way the needle needs to keep moving, because there are so many qualified minds on the women's side.
While Coach Hammond's story is still in progress, it is still only a foot in the door for other women in the sports world. For MNG Media, I'm Sterling Ellison.
The 7th-ranked football team took on UT Permian Basin last Saturday after an impressive victory against West Florida. The game started slow with no scores in the first quarter, but after a Permian Basin touchdown in the second quarter, the Mustangs put it into gear and scored 2 touchdowns of their own to end the half 14-7. In the second half, the Mustangs shifted into overdrive as they commanded both quarters and put up 29 points on the Falcons. Leighton Rabb had another impressive game as he threw for 291 yards with 3 touchdowns. Those 3 touchdowns were all caught by Anthony Tennyson, who finished the game with 3 of those scores for 63 yards. Midwestern went on to defeat Permian Basin 43-21. The Mustangs will face Angelo State this Saturday at Memorial Stadium. Good luck, Mustangs. Recreational sports are back in full swing, and one of those recreational sports that you can take part in is flag football. As with all the recreational sports here on campus, there is a mixture of men's, women's, and co-rec leagues for you to participate in. There is no need to feel that you have to be super talented to enjoy being a part of a team, and Ruby Gray, a pre-med senior, feels that anyone can play.
There's always a spot, like even if you can't run fast, I mean, if you can catch a ball, like we'll put you out there and we'll throw you a ball kind of thing. I mean, if you want to be center, you're tossing the ball, but you're still getting to play. And I mean, same thing with not just flag football, but with volleyball. I suck at volleyball, but I still got out there and play. Like we play in the gym and we don't win, and then it's fun to win, it's awesome to win, but it's not important to win and stuff like that. And I mean, we're just out here for fun. You can play no matter what you do. So.
Gray also said the ability to get to know some of the other students on campus helps make you feel more connected. From flag football to pickleball, there is something for everyone to have a good time while experiencing a little friendly competition. For more information on the available sports to play for a schedule or for the upcoming games, you can visit the MSU Texas Recreational homepage. Reporter Stephen Gomez takes a look at our men's soccer team performance in the start of the Heartland Conference.
The men's soccer team continued its winning streak, defeating Rogers State in an exhilarating match.
Winning 3-1 on Thursday at Stagg Park, the team starts off the Heartland Conference remaining champions for the third consecutive season. The defending champions finished the game after a breakaway by Julian Varas, undecided sophomore at the 84th minute, who scored the last goal. Julian explains the mentality around the championship.
It's good. We're all competing for the championship. We were able to win it last year, so we have to defend it this year.
The Mustangs became #1 in Division II soccer last year for the 7th time of the program. In turn, head coach Michael Meacham had helped lead the Mustangs into a 27 record straight win. Coach Meacham states the team are extremely close, working well together. When asked about the importance of winning against Rogers State, Coach Meacham had this to say.
No, the first conference game of the season is always it's huge. It kind of sets the tempo for the rest of the season. And especially with them, with Rogers State being a pod team, you can't go 0-1 or 0-1 in a pod game. So you got to come home, especially at home in front of our fans. We've got to win that game.
The men's soccer team continued their winning streak, getting revenge against Newman, who beat them last year, on Saturday with a score of 3-1. This win was mostly in part of Guy LeMay, mass communication junior, who scored 2 of the 3 goals. LeMay says it was a team effort and that there are still more games ahead. The team invites everyone to cheer them on this Thursday at 7 p.m. against St. Mary's and on Saturday at 1 p.m. against Texas A&M at Stagg Park. For Mustang News, I'm Stephen Gomez.
The women's soccer team had to cancel their game due to weather just after the second half began last Sunday. Ira Washburn has more on the game and how it will affect the rest of the season.
The MSU women's soccer team played against Southwestern Oklahoma State University this past weekend on our own turf, and a wet one at that. It was a cloudy day in Wichita Falls with an unexpected mist to start the game. A lightning delay was called following a scoreless first half. The delay lasted upwards to an hour before players were allowed to return to the field. Senior midfielder number 19 Taylor Robinson scored a goal just before the second lightning delay was issued, putting the Mustangs at 1-0 before the game was ultimately canceled due to weather.
It was challenging having to stop and then warm up again and then play again, but I think we overcame it and got a goal before it got called again.
For those wondering how this game will affect the season, head coach Ryan Spence says this game won't impact either team's stats at all.
It'll just go as a no game, so it won't show up in the stats until it hits the 70th minute, which we're still 14 minutes away from that. So if it doesn't get to the 70th minute, then the game's just abandoned and it's just canceled, and it's just nothing, no stats or anything.
Coming off 3 losses, the Mustangs find motivation from a lead in this game and are eager to play next Friday's match against San Angelo State.
It's going to be a huge game. We're playing there, and they're known to be big and tough and play good through balls, but we're used to traveling now, so I think we'll be ready, and nothing can stop us. I feel like we're going uphill now.
Kickoff for next Friday's game is at 7 p.m. at the ASU soccer field. Tickets are free for students, and general admission tickets are $7 at the gate. For Mustang News, I'm Ira Washburn.
Thanks, Ira, and good luck to the Mustangs. We're hoping for better weather for you guys. After the break, we will be sitting down with Mike Strickland, who runs the Unified Sports League here in Wichita Falls.
Each path to success is a journey, filled with twists and turns that allows you to discover more about yourself.
At MSU Texas, you can set yourself up for success while learning on your own terms. Faculty mentors, research opportunities, real-world experiences, and individual attention are just a few of the many advantages of an MSU Texas education.
Here, you can find yourself, live, lead,
and learn in a vibrant, creative community.
Make connections that will last a lifetime and prepare for the careers of tomorrow, today.
Take the first step of your journey with MSU Texas.
Joining us today is Mike Strickland, the Area 9 Director at Special Olympics Texas. Mike, thanks so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
So, the Unified Sports League has returned to MSU for the 2018 soccer season. Could you kind of give us some background on what exactly that is and what relationship they have with the university?
Yeah, so this is our 3rd year to take part in this. And so what we do is we take our Special Olympics athletes who are 18 and older, and we pair up with college students and have a league for them just like you do for your intramurals here on campus.
Okay, and what are some of the benefits of the USL, specifically with the students and the Special Olympic athletes?
Just the pure joy that you see come out of both parties, to be able to, really unify together through the game of sport, and just see, these two populations, those with intellectual disabilities and those without, just really coming together and interacting with one another. It's pretty powerful.
Okay, and are there any other seasons after the soccer season?
Yes, we will probably have a bowling league within one of the actual bowling classes at MSU, probably in November, and then starting in February, we'll actually pick up basketball.
Okay, and specifically, is there anything else the USL has in store with MSU?
Yeah, definitely. We will actually be partnering together to have what we call the Highway 287 Unified Bowl, which is a flag football game of those Special Olympics athletes paired with MSU, and we'll be playing Special Olympics athletes from the Amarillo area, and they'll be playing with West Texas A&M students.
Okay, cool. And another question I have is, how can students volunteer for the USL?
We definitely still need players. So coming this Thursday, they can actually come out at 6 o'clock to the free play fields and actually play with our athletes. They can also volunteer, just show up at 6 o'clock and we'll have a job for you. So yeah, as many people we can get to come and be involved will be great.
Awesome. And what are some of the upcoming dates for the soccer games or for the soccer season?
So our actual season will start this coming Thursday. What is that, the 27th? I believe
so.
And then we will play for about 4 consecutive weeks on Thursdays.
And I guess in your opinion, what would you say the biggest and best thing is about the USL?
Just the collaboration of those with intellectual disabilities and those without. You truly get to see what inclusion is all about. One of the things that has came out of this Unified Sports League is we've actually started a Special Olympics club on campus. We are now an official club, so we're looking for members to be a part of that. And we're trying to really roll out different aspects of not only sports but unified arts. We're trying to start some unified classes here on campus to truly have an inclusion-based program here at MSU.
Awesome. And my last question is, you may have already touched base on this a little bit. What does it bring not only to the MSU community but to the community of Wichita Falls as a whole?
It truly shows what inclusion is all about. In our schools today, that's a big push. Is getting those special needs students out into the classrooms. And so what Unified Sports does is it just shows the power of inclusion, taking those two populations and combining them and truly seeing unity within those groups.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And it looks like that's all the time we have left. Mike, thank you again for joining us today. And that's it for this edition of Mustang News. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at M&G Media and like us on Facebook. Be sure to tune in next time for Mustang News.